What is going on, guys? Jack here, and I'm back with another episode of West Ham Weekly. Obviously, this is kind of like a podcast where I talk about what has happened with West Ham during the week. We review the last game we did play, which was against Everton. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we did play Everton. We played a 4-5-1, and obviously the result was just typical against Everton. It really was. They're a bogey team, a massive bogey team for us, and we did unfortunately lose 2-1 after being 1-0 up. But I've written down some notes from the game, really, that were my thoughts on it at the time, and I'm going to see if I stick by them. So the defending was solid in the first half. This is the first half review. Valencia has been very poor. He just didn't seem to get involved as much as he was. You know, he can't play up front on his own. We really can't, because we did play a 4-5-1, it did seem. Both teams don't look like they was giving 100% in the first half either. The second half, obviously, it did liven up, but the first half was just very boring to watch. Colton Cole hardly got involved. As playing as the striker on his own. We gave possession away cheaply. Mark Noble a couple of times that led to attacks, which was just not right. It really wasn't, and it could nearly have proved costly for us. So we just didn't seem like we wanted it. And Downing through the middle, we know there's one thing we got was Downing through the middle was absolutely dangerous. He created most of our chances, and when he does play through the middle, he gets them opportunities. He is a real threat. Would the team work better with the diamond? Why not? He should have changed that probably into the second half. Maybe change it into a diamond and play Valencia and Cole up front instead of playing Dan on the wing and having Valencia out on the wing isolated, not doing anything, because he just can't play on his own. He has to play off of someone. He does. And Colton Cole wasn't delivering that for him, unfortunately. But Buck and Reed look very good together, obviously, despite James Collins coming off injured. And hopefully that ain't too much of a massive injury concern, and he will be back for the last game of the season, because I think he's a solid player. But I wouldn't mind Reece Burke playing at St James's Park in our next game. But Adrian made some good saves at the start too, and was it handball for the two penalties claims? I think the second one for Coleman definitely was a handball in my opinion. The first one, not too sure. I think it was McCarthy, wasn't it? We were very unlucky not to get the penalty there. We was, but like I said, that's football for you. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Why don't Sam ever try two up front ever? That's what I was thinking during the first half. Why doesn't he ever try two up front ever? It really does frustrate me. It does, and West Ham United Football Club News, WHUFC News, did tweet out saying, yet to score from open play in 7. And that was in the first half. So that's 7 games we've yet to score, in that first half, which is just, oh my word. It was just, what was that? It is annoying. But in the second half, it was better. It was a better half in general for football. Solid from Adrian. Adrian was such good in goal. He really was. I enjoy watching Adrian. He's such a good goalkeeper. He really is. He's one of the best goalkeepers we've had in a long while. Robert Green was a good goalkeeper also for us, but Adrian, solid, very solid. Downing looked dangerous too for the first period of the second half. First 15 minutes, West Ham absolutely dominated it, in my opinion. We was all over Everton. We really was. Barkley, one thing I got from that was overrated, but Reece Burke and John Stones, they could be the future England defence. I can see it. They're both such young talents, and they both just seem so confident on the pitch. John Stones is, don't get me wrong, he's another level. John Stones is incredible. I don't think he'll be at Everton for much longer. I think he's such a good centre back. He really is. Reece Burke, like I said, impressive as always. Valencia and Cole hardly involved yet again in that half, which was just, it's undefendable at times. It really is. How are we going to attack without Valencia and Cole being involved that much? It was Downing pretty much making all the things from Jenko to Downing, it seemed like, and through the middle for Alex Song, who had actually quite a good game for West Ham, in my opinion. Alex Song was, so that was a positive I could take from that. Downing's goal was well deserved for West Ham, in my opinion. He took it down. It would come from out of nothing, really, out of Tim Howard's reach. No chance he's going to reach that, and we deserved to go 1-0 up, in my opinion. So at that moment, I was happy with that, and I thought we had the game wrapped up, in all honesty. But then I remembered we're playing Everton, the biggest bogey team ever, and that's 10 games now we've gone in the Barclays Premier League without beating them, and Everton have won the previous 6 games now, which is just, I don't know. And it was great movement though from the goal, wasn't it, from Dan? And it just sees what happened when he plays central. He gets goals, which is, and we ended 6 games obviously from not scoring through open play, and that stat did obviously come from WHUFC_news. Link in the description down below, and his tweet will be appearing throughout the episode. Typical though, because a few minutes later, Leon Osman would equalise for Everton, and it was disappointing. It was. 1-1, I was still confident we could probably nick something from the game, in all honesty. But obviously, Nene, when he come on, so good. He creates something. He has an aura about him. He creates something out of nothing. He just looks so good. He does. But unfortunately, it wasn't enough because Everton, in the 90th minute, Lukaku would score and make it 2-1. 90th minute, and so many people predicted. That was the funny thing. All over social media, so many people predicted that he would score in the 90th minute. It's crazy because he always scores against us, and Everton are the biggest bogey team ever. The game did finish 2-1, guys, and we are in the bottom half of the table, looking like we're set for a bottom half finish, which is absolutely disappointing, despite the start we did make at the start of the season. You know, obviously top 4 at Christmas, but it just wasn't to be. It wasn't to be, and we conceded too many last-minute goals, and that's how that's what it rumbles down to. But also playing on the weekend was Leroy Fer, a player that I'm very fond of, and he scored an absolute bullet against Newcastle, our next week's opponents. One of the best goals I've seen this season, up there with Matty Phillips' goal for QPR. But would you guys take Leroy Fer? Honestly, I think he would be a great signing, honestly. But that is it from the Everton game. It was a 2-1 loss, disappointing. Let me guys know your thoughts on the game, and now let's move on to the news section of the video. So the manager saga does continue for West Ham United, as it does reveal that reports are saying that West Ham will turn down the chance to have a Sevilla manager, Unai Emery, I believe his name is, at the helm of the club next season, which I think is a bad move. The club are go towards more British managers, but obviously you can't really say that when Rafa and Slaven Bilic are at the top of our wish list. But I think he's a good move. I really do think he is, but apparently that's what reports are saying. Sources say that Sullivan is still trying to persuade Klopp. Also, not too sure if he'll come to the club, but we'll just have to wait and see about that. Another week passes and Rafa is still widely tipped, evens and some sites, to be the bookies' favourite to be at West Ham next season at the helm with Sam Allardyce leaving. Would you turn down Rafa? Because he's also been reported that he's favourite for the Real Madrid job, also from that come from, I believe, West Ham transfers, who did tweet that. But actually, I think it was actually West Ham photos, actually, but I'm not too sure off the top of my head. I'll have to have a look at that. It's Guillem Balag, whatever his name is. He's the only one that's on Sky Sports, the Spanish reporter. He did say that they've approached Rafa, and reports coming out today that he may have actually signed a deal with Real Madrid, but which Real Madrid fans are absolutely they don't want him. Seeing some of the tweets, they're not happy with it at all, but it's a completely different story if he was going to come to West Ham, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. But moving on, a source does say that positive that he will be the West Ham boss next season. He's tweeted there also, but he's 4-1. Obviously, come to the Hammers, evens and some sites, like I said. Allardyce will sit down and talk with the board. Also, he thinks he's done a good job. This will come 24 hours after the game on Survival Sunday, I do believe, or is it Saturday? No, it's Sunday. Will he stay? We don't know. I don't think he will, in all honesty, but we're getting turned down left, right and centre, but we just have to wait and see. He thinks he's done a good enough job. I don't think he has. Being fourth at Christmas and then dropping all the way down to the bottom half of the table is not good enough, in my opinion. I think when he was fourth, we should have been aiming for at least a top 8 finish. At least. But he didn't deliver, but that's up to the owners to decide. Obviously, David Gold and Mr. Sullivan. Obviously, that come from Sky Sports too, that report. Reports also suggest that Bilic is ready to open talks with West Ham United as the new manager, despite he has been sacked by Besiktas now, so that has put him as the second favourite for the job. And also, we are looking to get Bichler, I believe his name is, from Marseille. I want to say he's from. Don't know too much about him, in all honesty. Don't really watch the French league, but if anyone knows anything about him, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, Mark Noble wants the West Ham board to just sort out Allardyce's future, because it would be better for the players to know if they're going to be getting a new manager in for next season. So he wants the future of Allardyce to be sorted out in the very, very near future. He don't want the saga to continue for much longer. And also, Michael? Laudrup has turned us down. He don't want to join us, which is... He's a good manager, but he wants to go to a big Barclays Premier League club when he does eventually return to English football. So... That's the managerial merry-go-round at the moment. Nothing really new in the news, so I don't know who will be joining, who will be leaving, but we just have to wait and see what will happen. But moving on now to other news, and that is that Colton Cole has seemingly said his goodbyes to West Ham United Football Club, putting out some heartfelt tweets after the game, after that end of the season game at Upton Park, saying he's enjoyed the last 9 years at the club. It's been incredible, and West Ham are always, going to be a team for him, and it looks like he will be leaving on a free next season, or the start of the summer. So we should go in to see, and he'll probably end up at somewhere like Bournemouth, in my opinion, because they're looking to only buy British players, and I think it'd be a good sign for Bournemouth. We're also looking to get Ricky Lambert also, so that could be interesting to see. Steven Gerrard has also revealed that West Ham supporters have a very special place in his heart due to the FA Cup final in Cardiff. He said that they are what football is all about, which is really good to see there. And we also hear from everyone at West Ham do wish Steven Gerrard all the best. Chairman David Gold revealed that West Ham can expect at least 5 new faces in at the club. Also, for next season, at least 5 new faces. European football is coming to West Ham United, would seem, due to the game obviously against Everton, where they did pick up more bookings than us. So it looks like it's going to be here, despite if Liverpool do win on the final day of the season and do get the automatic European spot, because that would just be criminal if they don't, in honesty. Moving on to a transfer side of things, West Ham are actually interested in bringing in Andre Ayew of Marseille. He's a very sort of, should I say, winger in the French league, and he could definitely set the Premier League alight if he does join us. He's an option to get, but with the managers changing, we don't know what could possibly happen come the start of the season. But also, Pedro Obiang, a player that we are after. Also, we are being rivaled now with Tottenham for his signature, which is absolute. I'm annoyed about that, but hopefully we can get him into the club. He's a solid signing. He really is. If we can get him into the team, he will be one of the best signings of the season. I'll guarantee that. He's like a Kayute kind of player. He's physical, and he's just a presence in the midfield. He really is. But Enner Valencia has come out and said that he may not be staying at West Ham over the summer, and he has been linked with a move to Chelsea. So, obviously, back in the year, he was linked with a move, and he said that he would like to play for Chelsea. So it's a poor attitude showed there by Enner, but hopefully he can turn it around and have a good season. He's been poor last few games, so I hope to see him resurrect fans' belief in him, because he has been poor lately, and I hope that actually isn't true. Hopefully he will stay. We are also interested in a move for Arsenal centre attacking midfielder Thomas Rosicky, who looks like an awesome player. He is. If we get him in a centre attacking midfield role, he can create something. He's a danger, and I'd love to see him come to the club, because European football, he knows how to play at that stage, so he's a great player. We're also interested in a possible £3.5 million move for Kieran Trippier, rivaled with Southampton and the likes of Bournemouth. So if we can get him in, if we can't get Jenko, he'd be a solid sign also. And looking at getting Mark Bartra also from Barcelona for £7.5 million. A very good centre back to get into the club. Also, he has European experience, so that would be awesome to see too. And finally, Teddy Sheringham has moved on to Stevenage. Wish him all the best. Hopefully he does a great job there, and that pretty much fuels rumours that Sam Allardyce will in fact be leaving at the end of the season. Now let's move on to players out of contract at the end of the season. So players that we have got coming out are Colton Cole, who's likely to leave. These are the players out of contract at the end of the season. Nene, 50-50 to stay in my opinion. I hope he does stay. I hope he does get off a new contract, because he is a dangerous player. UC, probably likely to leave. Demel, likely to leave. You got Alex Song, who won't be staying, we know that. And Jenko, 50-50. And that comes from West Ham transfer too. Not the likely to stay, but the players that I've got that are out of contract. No, I've got that fast from him. We're predicted to have £25 million budget also for the transfer window, which is interesting, because now I made a little bit of a what players I'd bring in. So players I said that I would bring in would be Obiang for £6 million, Leroy Fer for £5 million. I'll try and bring in Cam Wilson of Bournemouth for about £3 million. That'd be, I think, a good deal for us. Obviously, Jenko will cost around about £7 to £8 million. I'll bring in Kevin Prince Boateng for free. I'll also bring in Glenn Johnson for free. Also, a right back that can provide cover for Carl Jenkinson. I don't think he'll get into the first team, but why not get Johnson into the team? He's got European experience. He's not the best of players, but I'll take him on West Ham. James Milner, I think, will be a massive sign if we can get him into the club, but whether he joins us or not, he seems more destined to be at Liverpool, but again, it's worth a try. I'd also go for Bartra. He's available at £7.5 million from Barcelona, and looks like he could potentially be joining West Ham, so Bartra could be a good one. And I'll take Brad Jones in net on a free also from Liverpool. Again, a good backup goalkeeper, as UC does look to be leaving. I'd sell Jarvo and Kevin Nolan for around about £5 million for the both of them. I think we could get for Jarvo and Kevin Nolan, and that means that we'd have so much depth in positions going into Europe. In goal, we could have potentially Adrian, Jones and Spiegel. In the right back roles, you could have Jenkinson, Johnson, Joey O'Brien, Again, I'd keep him there because he can play left back or right back or even centre defensive mid. He's a good versatile player to have, especially going to Europe. And obviously Reed and Tompkins also play right back too if need be. But in centre backs we could have Reed, Tonks, Collins, Burke, Bartra, Oxford maybe, Daniil Henry, which is just mad when you think about how many centre back options we could have come the start of next season. And left back, obviously we could have Cresswell, Joe O'Brien, new boy Stephen Hendry that's joining obviously on a free, because we did get him in January. If you remember him, he come from Hamilton, and also Potts can play there also. So we've got some good young players that can come through. Through the centre, from CDM to centre mid to centre attacking mid, we would have Kayute, Obiang, Noble, Boateng, Fur, Milner, Amilfitano, Zarate, Downing and Nene that can all play in midfield. Again, the possibilities are endless for that midfield role. And in striker positions, we could play Sacco, Valencia, Nene can play there, Zarate can play there again, Wilson would be there, Carroll would be there, and maybe even Elliot Lee. So the amount of depth that we do have in the side is just brilliant, and it's really good to see. And I have been waffling on for quite a while this episode, 15 minutes. Wow, that is just mad. So we'll move on to the next game preview versus Newcastle. I'll try and get through this as fast as possible, guys. But obviously the last game of the season is a matter of survival for Newcastle, as defeat to the Hammers could send the Magpies down. All but certain send them down, because Sunderland did get safety yesterday against Arsenal, which was just mad to see, really. Newcastle and West Ham are both on terrible form. They are, so it's going to be interesting to see the result in that game. It might be a high-scoring game. It might be a boring game. Newcastle, without winning 10 games, last win was end of Feb for them, which is just mad when you think about it. And the last meet at St James's Park, that was corresponding with this fixture in the BPL, was a 0-0 draw. West Ham and Newcastle, like I said, on both in bad form. But the last 10 games, West Ham won 4 of the encounters, Newcastle won 3, and the team have drawn 3. So they're pretty much evens. No team's really a bogey team. We can get wins or we can lose to them. But my prediction is I think Newcastle are going to win it. I hate to say it, but I really do. I think West Ham have just got no motivation. I think they're already on their holidays and they've just not been showing up. But I think we'll lose 1-0 because Newcastle are going to treat this game as a cup final. It's a matter of survival in the Barclays Premier League. It means something to them, and I just can't see us winning it. Lineup I go for though is Adrian, Cole Jenkinson, Winston Reid, Reece Burke and Aaron Cresswell. I again go for the diamond. I play Alex Song in DM, Morgan Amilfitano and Chiku Kayute in the 2 centre midfield roles. In cam, hear me out. I would play Kevin Nolan. Looking for that 100th Premier League goal. And is it written in the stars that Kevin Nolan could send the Magpies down? Just imagine that for a second. That's why I'd start Kevin Nolan. Any other game, he wouldn't even cross my mind. But I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun for him to play. I'll start Ella Valencia and Carlton Cole up front. And it's an opportunity to get back into the top half of the table. Guys, that is going to bring an end to this video. Thank you for watching West Ham Weekly. I hope you did enjoy it. Make sure to comment in the comment section down below to have a debate about this episode and about the upcoming fixtures and the news that have gone on during the week. Thank you ever so much for watching this video. Sorry it's a bit long, but I hope you do enjoy the longer episodes. Let me know if you do. And as always, I hope you have a really nice day. I'll catch you all in the next one. Like and subscribe to this channel. Hammers Weekly out every Friday. Peace. Come on, you Irons.